Today in this video we will be cleaning up this spot, sanding it down, putting this decal on, putting some True Oil over it, and then we're also going to be installing this bad boy. Well, as you can see, I got all the tuners taken off, and before I sand this, I want to bring this super glue down a little bit. If you watch one of my previous videos, I put a dot of black super glue in there. So I should have showed you all this on when I was doing the inlays on that one guitar, because this is the main reason you can put inlays on while your frets are still on. But basically the principle is real simple. You put tape on each side of your razor blade and you use it as a scraper, and then you can level down a high spot, isolate a high spot to take down. You know what, I think that's going to be good enough to do some sanding on, and I'm going to do a light sanding on here. I'll be right back. So I'm going to start with this very dull sanding sponge. It's duller than 220. If that don't get it where I want to from the start, then I'll go back to my fresh 220. But basically I just want everything blended in because I'm going to put a layer of True Oil on it, and I researched and found out you could put True Oil on top of tung oil, which is great because that's what this has on it, is tung oil. That's doing good. I think I'm going to go ahead and switch to this. So let's go ahead, because I'm going to work a little bit right here. This ain't not. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, so now I'm going to clean it with lighter fluid. It's sanded all the way down to, level with 220. It looks pretty good from my point of view. And this will show us also what it may look like after I put the True Oil on it, at least for a second. So I'm clean. This is me prepping it for the True Oil treatment. It's pretty clean. I'm pretty satisfied with it. Then I'm going to put the decal on, and then I'll put some more True Oil over the top of that. I've also done research that you could, well, I didn't have to do research. When I bought this, it said you could put True Oil over the top of it. So that's where we're at. I'm going to clean this a little bit more right up here. This stuff, I'm going to put a coat on, and then I'm going to cut. Oh, come on, open sesame. A blue shop towel may not be the best for applying True Oil, but that's how we're going to do it today. I already learned my lessons once. Spill. Alright, that's good for the first coat. Alright, hopefully when I get back we'll be putting a decal on. I know it almost looks like I'm back where I started, right? But I have two layers of, or two coats of True Oil. I cut down the sticker so I could see how I could fit it in between the lugs. And so I'm going to get all this out of the way and put another coat on it. It didn't work out exactly the way I thought it was going to. So this is like 2 or 3 coats applied the way that I showed it. And then I sanded it down with 320 and then 400. And while I was doing that, I remembered that there was a nasty gap between my nut and the fretboard that I didn't like. So I addressed that, and I found a little high spot on there that I didn't realize was there the first time I installed it. Now I got that thing sitting in there nice and cozy. It ain't going nowhere. Not the way it was. It was, and the gap is acceptable now, whereas before it wasn't acceptable in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. We're going to put another coat on here, and then after that dries a little bit, I'll bring you back in. Well, I know if I watched this video this long, I'd be waiting for this point where I put the sticker on, right? So the first thing I did was I cut this sticker down, all the edges first. Okay, so I've already trimmed the decal. That's what I'm talking about. You trim the decal, you test fit it. Test fitting and thinking about and contemplating what how you're going to do it, that's important to get. And I think this is going to look great, like it is. One day I'll go back and pinstripe all of these things with the same color, but today we're going to get this on here. I got some black tuners coming in the mail. I may string this up before that just to finish this video with the original chrome tuners. Well, these aren't original. So one of the reasons I hadn't changed to black is because I thought these were original tuners. But I looked behind, you know, when I took these tuners off, I realized that this guitar originally had pin, you know, the dual pin tuners. So the first step after trimming your decal, you take the decal off. Decal, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use some Zippo fluid. The fancy guys like to call it naphtha, but Zippo fluid, that's what you use to clean your guitar stuff to begin with. So I've been told by all the guitar people. Anyways, to clean it off, I'm going to get a fresh paper towel. So this is 4 coats of True Oil, and we're going to let this dry. Got a little bit of weird haze on it from the naphtha. I'd rather say Zippo fluid. It's easier to put out of my mouth rather than naphtha, right? First thing we're going to do, this is a lens cleaning cloth with cat hair on it, but I'm going to get the cat hair off, right? So this is a lens cleaning cloth. It's like one of the best microfibers you can get. I'm going to rub it with that a little bit in the area to help clean it some more, right? Hopefully there ain't no cat hair in there. So the plan is to put the decal on, and then after decal has had time to ruminate, okay, so I'm taking off the backing. I'm going to do that off camera. Alright, okay, got the sticker. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is try to line that line up. My Ibanez is not going to... Oh, boom. We're going to rub it in. Look at that. It's not exactly where I wanted it, where I pictured it, but it's going to work. We're going to take this one out. Let that be the only... Oh, well, it happened. If I try to pull it up now, we're probably screwed. Right? So it's going to be like that. Oh, shit. I'm okay with it. I'm going to rub this in all areas real good. Now, it said in the instructions from this guy, I think he said to let it sit for like an hour, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And then we're going to come back and we're going to pull the clear part off. Hopefully it's a very satisfying thing and not some tragic ending to a series of unfortunate events, but I really like what we're seeing so far. So, I'm going to be hopefully adding my final coat because it's okay if it's not perfect, right? Some Zippo fluid. It's been 8 hours since I applied the decal. Something like that. I use a handy dandy microfiber, and I gotta be extra delicate. I'm just trying to mop up the. You can hear the microfiber grabbing the decal a little bit. And that's why we're putting the True Oil on, because then we're going to have a nice protective top coat. Oh, this ain't the last coat. I just remembered. We're going to put this on, and then we're going to sand this back. Maybe put 2 coats of this and then sand it back. So yeah, I want to really lock in that decal. I really don't have any words to say how you apply this smoothly, but basically I see little bubbles or whatnot, or streaks, and I try to blend it out. I don't know how well it's coming through on camera. This thing has been hard to light. There's a little hair there that got caught in there somehow. I just pulled it out. That's awesome. So I'm going to put, that's going to dry. And I'm going to put another coat before I start sanding. Now, what I've learned now doing this is when you need to cover it while it's drying, especially if you have pets. I had some pet hair float into this while it was drying in one of the coats. I got rid of the hair. It was no big deal, but yep, cover the thing that you're working on, that you're putting True Oil on, while it's drying. Okay, well, it's not perfect, but I'm not going to put another coat on. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and move on to putting the tuners back on. This guitar is basically my daily driver, and I have bigger projects to get onto. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since my last clip, and I've already had strings on this and been playing it and stuff like that. So I was going to finalize the video with putting these on. And when I took off the old tuners, I noticed how bad the finish was on this. I had a big old cat hair right here. There's still a remnant of it. And then it had all kinds of little speckles of other dander. So I built up I figured, stuff blew in from underneath my cover. So I tried to make a little area where it blocked that sort of thing from happening. And so now I'm going to go ahead and put the black tuners on. We're going to finalize this guitar. The only thing that's ever going to have to be done again, well, ever, but I'm going to eventually replace the frets. But I should get a couple more years of use out of it before I totally have to do that. So in the next shot, we'll see it all put back together and finalized. Okay, so check it out. I'm pretty happy with it. Maybe earlier in the video you can remember how it looked with just the chrome and no logo. That came out pretty good. The finish isn't perfect. Really, I wasn't expecting it to be, honestly. I'm pretty happy with it, though. I didn't talk about it in a video too much at all, but I tried these things out. and I'm not very impressed with them. They're not the traditional methods of using stuff like steel wool and stuff is probably a lot better than that janky thing. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm still working on my format and stuff like that and figuring out my content. It's been several weeks since I started making this video. And just real quick, this is what the bridge looks like installed. It's a real simple process of putting this on. It's this kind of loader. You know, you go all the way to the back there, put the string balls in. I had a little bit difficulty learning how to seat those properly, but it went okay for the most part. The guitar is a bit dirty from playing it. So to recap, I put this on. There's one issue where I got frustrated when I was playing it for the first time, and the bar needed to turn in this way, so I boogered that up because I just got frustrated because it wouldn't turn easily. But we're going to mitigate that little snafu. I used pliers and marred it up. Later on, I'll take this bar out, adjust it differently, and probably put gun blue on it. But for now, it can just have some Sharpie on it. I was doing this. I think it fell out of camera focus. Anyway, so recap. This is a basic Ibanez, hot rodded with tremolo, roller bridge, quad humbucker, or dual humbucker, or whatever. Another hot humbucker. One day I'll go over and put real abalone inlays in it. We have a roller nut, and in this video I got this very cleanly installed. It looks like it's cocked up right there, but that's just some discoloration. New black tuners. Little disclaimer, I don't recommend fake tuners. It's a total gamble whether or not they're going to work well. In this case, I got a really good set. So I don't endorse fake Grovers. I just happen to use them. I like to gamble, I suppose. So now we're going to attempt to do a playing demonstration. Yay! This does the wiggle thing that people like. This is the rig I'm going to be using for this demonstration. Going into a line 6 through the, what do you call that? I don't like this amp except for using it like a PA. So keep it simple. You know, I like this thing a lot. It's amazing, honestly. So while setting up for this clip, or clips, I broke a B string. I think the reason it broke was because it had a kink in it up by the headstock, but nevertheless. So the show must go on. I don't want to just replace the B string when I'm about to, since it broke, I'm going to put a whole new set on and clean the fretboard. So we're going to be working without the B string. Enjoy. Now, I'm not fluent in wiggle sticks yet, so yeah, I'm just going to demonstrate as best as I can. So it acts like a floating tremolo, right? It does this thing. And it does better to stay in tune than that crappy Floyd Rose I have on my Jackson. But I just got a new bridge for the Jackson, so there's that. Going to drop D is typical. Theoretically, you could go and drop D for like maybe a stage performance, like on the fly. but technically it is out of tune. I wouldn't drop D it in the studio without tuning all the other strings back up. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. Y'all have a great day.